Hello and welcome back. This is Mutiny Motorsport and this is the finale of Season 11. This is what you have all been waiting for in the commentary box today. It is just me, Alex. And here we are. This is round 9, the Marlboro 250 at Fontana. We're here for dusk, but don't worry, the heat isn't going away. It's only building. The fight is really here for second in the championship around this great track that we have coming up. We have a lap record here. It is 30.4 from Keyboard Warrior back in the Formula 2023 car. But the winner was Mr. Mouse in that very season, who is here today making his comeback. He won that race, by the way, on a controller, which is probably the most absurd thing that you're going to hear in sim racing history. So taking pole, you can see 29.0, there's TTAR. That is a champion taking command of the final race for Team PPI. Viltec in second here, really close field. Just followed by Arty, just followed by Nate Delta, just followed by Garrett O'Brien in fifth. CumSum in sixth. The speed on the circuit tracks not equivalating to the ovals here. And then Orange, all still within 3/10. Debug in eighth. Radioo in ninth. Mr. Mouse, what a day, what a return. 10th though. What a return. And then Leclerc, NDF, and John at the back of the field in 13th. So let's get with the teams and the drivers as they pull away. This is their formation lap. So you can see TTR, great lap in qualifying, biggest gap at the front of the fields. And look at him warming up his tires as Viltec there in second position, looking to try and secure second spot in the championship. Oh, it's going to be a close one today. We saw Debug in the last race take pole, but wasn't able to convert it. Will TTR use that experience to have himself a better time of converting this pole? Let's find out.
Oh, I forgot my fuel.
And just as we talk about him converting, disaster strikes and an amateur move from one of the most seasoned drivers, and he has forgotten to change his fuel from qualifying to race fuel. That is going to put him right at the back of a pack. What is he going to do? Is he going to pit on lap 1, or is he just going to bolt and just have a lighter car to start with? Depends how much fuel he's really got in the car. We're going to find out as he enters, and there we go. He's down in the pit apron right at the beginning, and this is going to be a disastrous start. But he's already won the title, so the fight really is on behind him. As we enter this, Debug, Garrett O'Brien, Viltec, Orange, Nate Delta, Leclerc, Arty can all win this realistically if they get a great shot at this. And Viltec with 48 points, and with Debug 53 and Garrett 52. This is really all to play for. They're your drivers to watch as we start this race, and it looks like Viltec is going to lead the pack round as TTR drops round, and there we go. It is green. 39 degrees here in the forecast. It is hazy, but the picture is so clear for Viltec right in front as he leads the pack away ahead of Nate Delta. Don't forget who won the Indianapolis 250. And the cars are shooting away. Viltec is getting himself a bit of a lead. Just a quarter of a second as Garrett O'Brien is moving up. 6th position. Oh, he's down the inside of Debug there. Oh, sorry, that's Orange actually. Another oval specialist. So, oh, and around the outside is coming Mumbo Man. Remember, where was he on the grid? He's a little bit further back. He is chomping up the order here. And Mumbo Man into 5th. That is a great start. So it's Viltec ahead of Nate, ahead of CumSum, ahead of Orange, who's moved up into 4th place now, ahead of Mumbo Man in 5th, Garrett O'Brien in 6th. And Arty has dropped way down the pack then. He was right at the front and he's now 10th. And we got Nate here in the slipstream, diving down the inside. Is there going to be room to go side by side? It looks like there is. Wow, Nate with a brave move, and he has taken the lead on lap 4 as they come around the final corner into the final sector. Start lap 5.
The setup burgers were completely wrong setup, even I loaded it.
Oh no, and an AMS2 bug strikes John. This is not what he wanted. And in that moment as well, as he was falling down the order with a setup bug, it is Viltec back up into the lead. But look at this top three battle. It is Viltec, Nate, and CumSum separated by absolutely nothing. And if you saw just on the top of your screen there, TTAR almost one lap down already. 13th position as Nate is going around the outside into the sun. And we're following now with CumSum now, just looking at the drivers in front of him. Remember that animalistic pace that Garrett was describing, and here we're seeing it right in the slipstream. This is what you want to be doing in these early stages of the race, just slipstreaming it, making sure that you save a bit of fuel, staying out of trouble. And these three looking set right at the beginning, already pulling out a 2-second gap to pretty much the oval maestro, which is Orange, who's having a bit of a battle there with Mumbo Man. So Viltec down into P3. In these early stages of the race, none of these positions really matter. It's more just a dick measuring contest. Oh, as CumSum gets a little bit squirrely, gets a little bit offline, and Viltec has to dive into the apron to escape him there, and luckily held onto his car, because that is not a fun place to be. It will spit you off. So let's see, it's lap 7 already. Wow. As we're going through, and Nate Delta leads the pack, and it is just milliseconds in it. 2 tenths to Viltec. 4-5 tenths back from that is CumSum. He's found the slipstream again and is hopefully going to claw his way back up, as Nate Delta and Viltec just trade first place in these early stages here. Let's go back down the order. Look at this. Surprise of the moment. ArdoWrick, 5th place. Look at this. The Torpedo himself is absolutely flying right now. ArdoWrick didn't do himself justice in the last race, going into the side of Viltec and putting Viltec out of business, which did not help his chances of this second place in the championship. He's now having to work for it. And Nate and Viltec again, race of their lives right now, fighting for that first position, and CumSum just hiding behind. Orange seems to be slipping away just a little bit, maybe even a little bit of a bottleneck for the cars behind him. And it looks like they've gotten past ArdoWrick up to 4th. Pat on the back there, that is some serious speed. So it's Viltec and Nate Delta in the front. They really want this second place, and CumSum just annoying them. CumSum in 15th place does not have a shot at the title, but that doesn't matter to him. A win is still a win, and he wants it. And it's going to take a lot to stop him. He's exactly what we need in this race, just to give it even an extra bit of spice, after our championship leader is almost still a lap down. It's on his own though, 26 seconds off the lead, and it's stayed about there as we get Orange going around the outside of Garrett, fighting for P6 there. Garrett and Brian, P6, Orange down into 7th. Something's gone on there, he's got wide, and Mumbo Man's gone past him as well. He's dropped down to 8th. It's an experienced head on his shoulders though. He'll be thinking at this early stage of the race he might just be trying to save fuel. Wow, as that is NDF rocketing out of the corner, down the main straight, or down the back straight, sorry. And NDF up into 8th place. Action-packed to start this race today. It's still hazy, it's still 38 degrees, and it is getting later in the day. You can see the sun setting as they come around this corner. There it is, the glare will be tough for the drivers, making those final adjustments just as the sun is absolutely making the screen all orange and white. Make it tough to see those fine little margins that you need. Orange Team Radio.
My car started like flipping into neutral, and then I don't know, it was weird.
Orange with another bug on another oval. Oh no, as he's dropped down to 13th position behind his teammate TTAR, and he's into the pits. Car jumped into neutral there and did all sorts of strange things. So AMS2 having a really buggy day. This is so unfortunate, but this is why the Mutiny does not run. Oh, it does not run in-car failures, because that would just be too much to handle. The random failures within the actual game itself are already enough. So it's Viltec leading from Nate. Viltec seemingly just getting ahead there. 1.3 seconds, 1.4 seconds now from Nate Delta. Ahead of CumSum is just behind that. ArdoWrick still up in 4th place, running an absolutely amazing amazing race so far. I gotta say, this is the race of the season so far. Mumbo Man in 5th, Debug in 6th, Garrett Bryan in 7th, NDF in 8th, Leclerc in 9th. Oh, NDF in 8th, John D in 9th, and Leclerc down to 10th. Teammate here of NDF who we're riding on board with, and look at this. You can just feel his car getting the overspeed from those cars in front. The slipstream, they're pushing out all of that dirty air, wrapping it, and he's just going right into the gap that the air is leaving for them. It's almost like you're dragged in rather than you're accelerating forward. Here comes some here, playing it sensible, down the inside, foot flat to the floor. 1.3 seconds away from the lead as we have a replay here. What is this? Looks like we're on board with ArdoWrick there. Oh no, he's bouncing. Oh my, wow, straight into the pit lane. What was Mac Chicken there? Let's see the off-board replay. Oh, and he's got a 10-second penalty for entering the pits. That was from the crash. Yeah, there you go, just understeered wide. Didn't look like anyone was directly in front of him either, so this was his own fault. Oh, and ArdoWrick, after the race start of his life, going wide, and that has cost him huge. That'll be a lot of damage to repair. Oh, and Garrett having the same issue there. Oh, and his steering's wonky. Oh, his CumSum goes right into the infield. What happened to CumSum there? I did not see. I was watching Garrett's replays. Garrett almost followed ArdoWrick there in issue, or in sympathy, really. So Garrett hobbling his way back to the pits right now, 40 seconds back. So TTAR up into 10th place right now, as Mumbo Man is our first pitter. Is that for fuel? Lap 18 is Viltec ahead of Nate, ahead of CumSum, ahead of Debug, who's now up into 4th place. NDF up into 5th, John up into 6th, Arty in 7th, Leclerc in 8th, Mumbo Man in the pits in 9th, and TTAR in 10th position, finally up into 9th. He is a little out of sorts though, as that is looking like CumSum and Debug now fighting. Yeah, what is CumSum has suddenly lost a lot of time from that swing into the infield, maybe having to avoid someone, maybe a little bit of damage, and Debug having to lift off the throttle there. That is not a usual spot. CumSum doing some hardcore defensive work here now, 5 seconds off the lead. So Debug looking to make amends for his gateway experience. He was in the lead for so long. If you haven't watched that race, go back. That was the ending of all endings to that race, with confusion about penalties and who's going to win and teammates and team orders. What a fantastic end to that race, as we see Debug now up into 3rd slot. Here's the old safe pair of hands. And now down into 4th. CumSum takes the inside line. Debug playing it very safe there around the outside. Plenty of space given between these two. So this is where the closest battle is right now. It is not between Viltec and Nate Delta. They're still about a second and a half. It is between Debug, 1/10 behind CumSum. And now just following CumSum right back up to the leaders, hopefully. But no, he takes a dive down the inside. CumSum is wide. And it's the over-under. Is it going to work? I think CumSum is the inside line. Yep, back up into 3rd place. This is going to slow them down a little bit. And now they're 6 seconds behind the leaders. This is not what they need to be doing if they want to win this race. They want to be working as a pair. It sounds odd to say, but you want to be working with the guy in front of you to catch back up. Yeah, he's going to be punching a hole in the air for you, and yeah, you're going to be going slightly slower, having to lift off the throttle, but actually what's going to happen is, because you're not interrupting his lap time, his Debug gets a little bit squirrely there, and that is going to cost him. He had a big enough gap, and now he's gone in the pits, so actually that was just a pit stop. Oh, and he's already got a penalty for speeding in the pits, 10 seconds. Oh, Debug, and he missed his slot. You just saw him reversing into his garage there as ArdoWrick comes out of the pits. P12, 3 minutes behind. That's how much damage he caused from the entry. And penalty for Arty, 50 seconds. He must have been speeding in and out of the pit lane there to get such a harsh penalty. Wow, lots going on with the penalties today. As Viltec comes in, Nate Delta comes in. What is it going to look like as TTAR with all of this? Maybe has a couple of extra laps of fuel here in the tank after that stop. And John D with a pit stop as well. So TTR up into 7th spot here. Leclerc ahead of him hasn't pitted either. And he's just entered the pits, Leclerc. So Garrett, after that bit of damage, out in 11th now. That is a long way down for his championship chances. Remember, the top 3 of the championship, really, Debug, Garrett, and Viltec, we're all fighting for this one. At the moment, Viltec is showing up and commanding this race. And it looks like he's leaving the pits before Nate as well. So, yeah, he's gained an extra second or so. Oh, and CumSum 50 seconds speeding in the pit lane again. So the way AMS2 works is it gives you 10 seconds for your first speeding in the pit lane offense, if it's not egregious. It gives you another 40 seconds for your second offense, really hammering home the importance of not speeding in the pit lane. So Garrett O'Brien, P11 here, looking to make amends for that going wide, almost following ArdoWrick off in sympathy, and there you can see in the top right-hand side of the track map, the pack is fairly spread out, to be fair. You gotta look for the slipstream way ahead of you and just hope that you can get inside of it and be fast enough to catch them up. So as we go to lap 25, it is Viltec ahead of Nate, 6 seconds now. What a stop from Viltec. Ahead of CumSum, ahead of NDF, ahead of Debug, ahead of Arty, ahead of John, ahead of Leclerc, ahead of TTR, who's now 29 seconds. So he was 26 seconds, now it's down to 29, so he has lost 3 seconds in this argy-bargy match, finding his way through the pack as they pit. Then Leclerc in 9th, Garrett O'Brien recovering from 10th, Mumbo Man in 11th, Orange, who had that weird neutral error with his car, down in 12th position. ArdoWrick from that huge shunt is in last place here, 3 minutes behind. Let's have a look at the fastest lap time though. It looks to be maybe Debug and Arty 30.4. Who else is in that range? TTR 30.3. 30.2 for Garrett O'Brien. So there's a lot of pace out there and it's all pretty close together. 30.1 for ArdoWrick. So boy has speed tonight. What is in his fuel tank we do not know. And that is TTR unlapping himself now from Viltec. He's got the lighter car right now. Probably still needs to make a pit stop. I don't think I've seen him in the pits yet. As Viltec is just now using TTR as a bit of a fuel save. And just sitting in the slipstream. And let's go back into the pack. This is Mumbo Man. Oh, that is Garrett O'Brien. This is the fight for 10th place. These guys don't give up in any position. They give it their all. And there's Arty as well there. So Arty got to be careful here. He's coming up to lap these guys. They're having a battle for their own for 10th and he's in 5th. So is he going to play it smart? Is he going to announce himself? It looks like one of them's given up position and maybe it looks like, whoa, no! Holy moly, Arty did not announce himself and Garrett O'Brien gave him the shove and a fright of a lifetime as he forced into the infield there. Arty must be thinking, get out of my way. What are you doing, crazy man? Does Garrett even see him there? And again, this is Mumbo Man versus Garrett. Battle, just 4/10 between them. So they're right in that perfect slipstream environment where the car just gets faster and faster and you can feel it climb up the gears just a little bit easier. So here we are, back on board with our leader, lap 30, just behind TTAR, who did not change his fuel. What a rookie error for him that day. Sorry, that session. Not loading it up. That is not the TTR we've seen. And 30.0 for Viltec there. 29.9 for TTAR. So what could have been 29.8 for ArdoWrick. Wow. If ArdoWrick qualified higher up, what could have happened if he didn't have that mess? He could have been hounding these two. What could have been, eh? But that's not the way it is. It is Viltec leading ahead of Nate Delta, ahead of CumSum, now 7 seconds behind. So Nate and CumSum pretty close together on the track here. You can see them on the track map in your top right hand side of your screen, going along the right hand side up towards the top right hand corner. They are number 2 and 3, and the gap you can see to Viltec, the number 1 car, who is now entering the final corners of this track, and they're still just halfway down the straight. So Viltec's pit strategies have been out of this world this season. Really great use of the braking zones and the acceleration zones out, practicing them a lot. And that gets him ahead, and look at the gap it's given him. 5 seconds, 6 seconds ahead of Nate, who was just about a second and a half before the pit stop. Smart driving there. He's the brains of the field. And his pace is up there too. 29.9, 29.8 for CumSum. Who else is in the 29s? 29.8 for TTAR. And 29.6 for ArdoWrick. Wow. ArdoWrick. If it wasn't for that crash, huh, buddy? You were in 4th spot. And look at this, CumSum. He is on the back of Nate Delta. 0.1 of a second away. And look, had to do a little bit of a lift. Thinking smart here, maybe saving fuel. We did see him run long in Laguna Seca. If you haven't watched that race, go watch back. CumSum using the strategies there to really help himself in that race. Played it smart and quick. Up into second position. Nate Delta, a lot of experience there, giving him a lot of space. There was no risk. There is no point risking it on lap 35. CumSum falling back just a little bit. What if he's choosing the right lines here, as we can see the sun getting lower now. Dusk is starting to settle in Fontana. Track is still 38 degrees, air temperature 25. It is still hazy with minimal winds. This is great racing conditions for the drivers today. And here is John, having a strong oval race right now, up in 6th position. John is a race winner, but not yet on an oval. 21 seconds off the lead, and Arty is just ahead of him. Remember, Arty tried to overtake Garrett O'Brien and basically get past and lap him. It was barged off. So maybe running a bit of damage, maybe just running a bit more frightened now. But John D is caught up, and it is Arty and John running 5th place. That is the fight. And then CumSum, we're back on board. This has been the driver in the most action so far. We've seen him on screen so much. And here he is again fighting with Nate. So Nate running about the same times there as the leader. So they are just ever so slightly catching up, just a few tenths. But they need to go faster if they want to catch up Viltec. They need to stop battling. That's what they need to stop doing. And who is that in front of them? That is car number 8. That is Leclerc in front of them, I believe. Leclerc, sensible set of hands, will probably get out of the way. Likes to run his own race in clean air. Get a good result. And again, it's Nate Delta CumSum trading now 2nd position. Remember, they were running up ahead with Viltec in the opening laps, but Viltec's pit stop put him so far ahead. He is now out of contention as we've got someone exiting the pits. Who is that right around them? That is car number 13. That is NDF. It's NDF out of the pits. Orange into the pits. So far behind. This has not been Orange's race. Almost won. He has been so close to winning a couple of times in ovals before, but today does not look like it's going to be his day. I think everyone up to TTAR and including TTAR is on the lead lap. From 8th position downwards, they're all a lap down. That's how fast Viltec is going, as Nate Delta almost runs into the back, and maybe did run into the back of CumSum a little bit. Maybe that was a little bit of net code there. Wow. I think none of these guys have given up yet, as Garrett is entering the pits. It looks like slowing down, doesn't want to get a penalty. Playing it safe. Mr. Hollywood himself in his hometown for this race, looking to give the locals something to cheer about. Can he get up on the podium? We will find out. He's got a long recovery drive ahead of him from this back position after scraping the wall early on. And here we go. It is Arty and John. This time John is ahead. He got ahead of him somehow. We didn't see it. But here he is. Arty had some great misfortune early on this season, but has really come to fight. Here he is with another experienced driver ahead of him. Not so much in the mutiny, but definitely by sim racing experience, these two. A lot of experience. And they're making their way through, trying not to waste each other's time. 22 seconds off the leader. They want to stay on that lead lap. We've not had a safety car yet. Lap 43, the guys have been very well behaved. So Debug and Mumbo Man in the pits. So Pat's a little bit out of order now, but it is Viltec ahead of CumSum, ahead of Nate Delta. We're at 8 seconds, so they're actually losing time. Even though the lap time seems to suggest they're making time, they're losing time to Viltec. We haven't pointed out when the lap times have been slower, but they must have been. And here we go, Arty, P5. Just behind John, who's P4. Remember, there have been some pitting in front of them. This is a great drive from these two today. They are not oval specialists, these guys, but look at them make it work. Stay behind. Keep it on track. Fantastic driving as the sun sets lower now. More of a glow in the sky than a big ball. Oh, as Arty goes right into the infield as we go back on board with Viltec. Lapping ArdoWrick now. ArdoWrick, no slouch as we've seen this whole race. And, oh no, CumSum. He had 2 points for 2 penalties already for going into the pit lane. And again, he has been disqualified. Oh, CumSum, he was on for a podium position here. And now he is out of the race. Oh, that is heartbreaking as Nate Delta enters the pits and goes, oh, you know what? Thankfully, I don't have someone to fight now. Now maybe I can go hunt down Viltec as Arty exits the pits. So, and the top 3 go into the pits. That's Viltec, John and Nate.
Where's my pit box? They're not here. I got 2 litres. I might...
Oh no, what has happened to TTAR? Misjudgment earlier, not putting fuel in the car, had to go into the pits, and now he's gone through the pit lane. His guy's right there, and he's only got 2 litres left. He's going to have to crawl around the track to make it to the other side. We might see him on the infield. So Garrett Bryan here, 9th position, slowly making his way up the field. Who's that in front of him? That is Mumbo Man. They've still been fighting. That was Viltec, it looks like. And who was that? That's John. Oh, and the pack is slowing down. It is a full course yellow. What has happened there? You can see some debris. These guys will be gently slowing down. Here is the replay to show us what happens. And that is ArdoWrick again. Down, touches the apron. And that was it. That's all that needs to happen. That was a hard hit. And then shot across to the infield, leaving debris all over the track. Here we go. Oh, and entering a closed pit lane. TTAR 20 seconds. He had no choice. Oh, and you can see from the replay there the huge swapper that ArdoWrick had. And he lost control. Oh, just got a bit too greedy on the turn in there. Right, so this is going to change the race. So full course yellow. What is the order as we speak? TTAR falling down the order and got 20 seconds to his name. Can you remember all the penalties? I cannot. Bunch of penalties. So Viltec, lap 48 is leading. Ahead of Nate Delta, ahead of Debug now, who's inherited that slot from that CumSum had made for himself in 3rd position. John D in 4th position. Arty in 5th. What smart driving from those two. Leclerc up into 6th. Look at that again. Super smart driving. So some of these drivers will get to unlap themselves, don't remember. And Leclerc, maybe Arty as well. They're all lap drivers, so they'll get to go back on the lead laps. That's Arty, Leclerc, TTAR, Mumbo Man, Garrett O'Brien, Orange. Maybe not ArdoWrick. And NDF is disqualified. So car number 7 is TTAR catching up the back of the pack. When the safety car goes in, Viltec will lead the pack round for a few more laps. There is more than 10 laps or 25% of the race remaining, which means drivers will get to unlap themselves. So So maybe those drivers 1 or 2 laps behind. So you're looking at 29 seconds to maybe a minute 30 to get to unlap themselves. We'll see how long Viltec allows that for. And we can see the weather's changed. It's changed from hazy to overcast. Wind's picked up just a tad. Track temperature now dropping, so the cars will start to feel the change. The air temperature dropped 4 degrees as well. So these drivers will start to feel the change now, especially as they're cooling the tyres now under the safety car conditions. And what a race. So we've seen Viltec, Nate and CumSum all take the lead at some point. CumSum got too many pit speeding penalties. One for entering and exiting the pits too fast, and the next time for entering the pits too fast, and that was it. That cost him a podium, and he looks so on point today. And ArdoWrick we've seen so far. This is the story of the race. Up to 4th spot. And 2 incidents have just cost him, but he was so rapid on this track. So rapid. I think we found a new guy that's really quick on the ovals. And here we are, TTAR story, not filling up with fuel early on, having to pit, going through the pit lane eventually, later on in the race, not having any guys out in the pits, maybe pressed the button too many times, and then as he entered the pits, the next lap was when ArdoWrick had crashed, and it cost him 20 seconds, so he's going to be on the lead lap soon, we think, but he's going to have a 20-second penalty. And there is CumSum out of the race. So far we've seen Viltec, great pit strategy, great speed. Not been the fastest driver we've seen all day, but had enough smarts with the pit penalties, with the pit lanes, to make up about 5 seconds in that first stop, which really just saved him so much time and got him that first place he's in right now.
No, I'm just trying to shoot Nate into going into the pits.
No, I knew what he was doing right away. I was like, this guy.
Viltec plays 4D chess while we're over here playing checkers.
Garrett O'Brien upping his teammate there. So maybe you would have just seen it just before the radios came on. Viltec looked like he was going to dive into the pits there. So Nate Delta quite rightly was like, who's this guy? He's not going into the pits. He knows the pit strategy that guy's on. And he's got a great opportunity to win this. He had the pace of Viltec early. It was just in the pit strategy that he lost out. So the safety car looks like it's going into the pit lane this lap. It doesn't look like it's leading, so looks like all the lapped cars are going to get to unlap themselves. Viltec, yeah, there we go. Full course yellow, lapped cars may pass. Viltec ahead of Nate, ahead of Debug, ahead of John D. They're all on the lead lap at the moment. Arty, Leclerc, TTAR, Garrett, O'Brien, Mumbo Man, Orange, NDF, and ArdoWrick is still in the pits, maybe retiring, maybe just fixing that damage still. Might get to pass and get onto the lead lap. So here we go. They're allowed to unlap themselves. You can see on the track map now, they're making their way around. Here we go. They're not allowed to race each other for position. Someone is allowing them through. Maybe someone who's a couple of laps down. Maybe someone who's already going to be on the lead lap by the end of this. Letting them through as we go back to CumSum, who must be kicking himself for not practicing that pit entry and pit exit a little bit more. Okay, so racing resumes at the end of this lap. So it was 2 laps that Viltec allowed to unlap themselves. So let's find out who's on the lead lap right now. It is Viltec, Nate Delta, Debug, John, Arty, Leclerc, TTAR. Garrett O'Brien has gone round again, so hopefully, and Mumbo Man, hopefully they're going to get rounds before it's too late. It doesn't look like Orange is going to get back on the lead lap, but he's going to try. He's in 10th position. He is hustling, but racing resumes the end of this lap. They're about halfway through. Orange may still yet get another lap. He's coming around the top half of that track map. You can see cars are going to stay wide. He's going to go under. He might just squeeze in an extra lap if he's smart. Yes, he does. You can hear him there. Full racing speed. He's still going to be several laps off though. knows it's still all to play for. There could be another safety car. So he's making the right moves now. When is Viltec going to bolt? It looks like he's gone now. This is the start. It is green. And Viltec catches Nate a little bit by surprise, but it's only 3 or 4 tenths. That is still within the slipstream distance, but look at the gap behind them. Debug is nowhere to be seen. He's been caught with his pants down, and John D is looking at him with his pants down, looking at his butt going, hey man, get that ugly thing out my face. I want that position. I want that podium. And TTR is up into 5th position ahead of Garrett. So now it's all to play for. This race is back on. Lap 54. Track temperature is plummeting. The clouds are coming over. You can see the night is coming in, but the heat is rising. Staying dry here, which is great for the ovals.
Shit me, TTAR's right there.
Yes, he is, as Nate tried to take the lead. TTAR is up into 5th. Has got a 20-second penalty, don't forget that. But Nate is now hounding right on the back of Viltec, going, yeah, you lost me in the pit stops before, buddy. Try that again. I got you on the track. This is a load of great pressure for Viltec to be soaking up right now. This is good experience for him. Has won a race already this season. If you don't know which race, go back and hint, maybe it might be Laguna Seca. Go back and watch that race. Good experience this season, having led and having been fighting with the front runners. Doesn't have the stats of the front runners, but that does not matter. Past performance is not was not an indicator of future success, and it does not mean you can't go from worse to good. Does not mean you can go from excellent to awful. Viltec now gaining that experience of leading out the front, and he's got a race winner also behind him, Nate Delta, challenging around the outside of this track. There is plenty of room to run side by side. There's still a quickest line though, but you can slow each other down as Nate takes the inside line now. Got a bit of overspeed. He's up into the lead as they come down into the back stretch. Leading onto the home stretch as they come around. He's got the inside. He's going to force Viltec a little bit wide there. Look at the squeeze. It's only gentle because they are still running around the ovals at crazy speeds here. So Nate Delta starts lap 59 in the lead ahead of Viltec. He's thinking, man, I had that the whole time. Whoa, massive overspeed during the corner there and having to lift off.
Oh, my frame rate is tanking. Oh, no.
Gonna have a word with the engineers after this race, Debug. The GP2 engine.
So we should mention that as well, as the leaders are fighting and TTR has made his way up into 4th place, Debug in 3rd. We have to say there was massive controversy leading into this race about the Mercedes engine in some of these cars. It hasn't been such a factor all these other races, but for some reason at the end of the season, they're starting to bring it up that the Mercedes engine is down on power.
Trying to make my car spark to reduce TTAR's FPS.
And Debug brings us back to where we... back to TTR's comment here about his frame rate tanking. So if he can make his car feel lower and spark more, he's hurting his competitors' frame rate more. And you've got to say, from the Debug we saw, which gave away so much information in the Worldwide Technology Center of Gateway, to now thinking in 4D chess like Viltec and trying to keep an advantage somehow. That is smart thinking there from Debug, the old safe pair of hands. As Viltec maybe switching gears and going, you know what, I'll save fuel behind you, Nate. You want to blast the hole in the air? That's fine by me. I'll get you at some point, probably in the pit stops. As there we go, behind them we saw Debug and TTR duking it out. Viltec tucked up just within a tenth. This is what makes oval racing so great. You can go so close to the car in front and still keep it on the track. And Nate Delta making his car so wide, using up all the track, making Viltec's life just a little bit harder. But the overspeed is worth it, and Viltec here looking like he's going to make a move down the inside, down onto the home stretch. He's making the turn. He's down on the inside. Nate goes wide to seize the place, and lap 63, Viltec back up into the lead, ahead of Nate, ahead of Debug, ahead of TTAR, ahead of Garrett O'Brien, who's got a great recovery ride so far. TTAR and Garrett, and John takes, we can't see it on screen, but Garrett O'Brien falling down the order yet again. Is he going to go into the pits? What has happened there? Garrett O'Brien into the pits. Nate and Viltec. Wow, two drivers, one win each, if I'm not mistaken, duking it out at the front. This could be the future of Mutiny Motorsport right here, and we could be watching the blossoming of some champions. It won't be this season, but right now, if Nate's in the lead, Nate's going to need 4 more points than Viltec to beat him to be second in the championship. But Debug's there, Viltec's there. These are all contenders. At the moment, I think Viltec has it, but it's so hard to say. They are trading blows on the track, lap by lap by lap, as TTAR goes up into 3rd spot, and as Debug goes in the pits. And Debug goes in the pits, he gets 40 seconds. That's his 2nd time penalty. He's going to be so careful. He could be disqualified, just like CumSum now. That is going to be playing on his mind, and that's going to cost him so badly in the constructors, in the driver's title, sorry. As we're still on board with Viltec, if he's going to win this, he's going to have to earn it, because the drivers around him are not giving up at all. This is the battle for second place in the drivers' championship. Wow. So if you win a race, it's going to be so close. Don't forget, if you win a race in these kart cars, it is 20 points. If you're second, it's 16 points. Wow. So right now, Nate and Viltec would be equal on points, but Viltec would take it because Nate would take it because he got the win, so that's why Viltec wants to be ahead. He has to finish ahead of Nate Delta here. As they go side by side, 0 seconds between them, flat equal as they enter lap 69. They are flying, but just behind them is TTAR and John D also flying on the same lap times. Who else is quick out there? They are the fastest people. It is Viltec, TTAR and John, all in the 29s. Oh, it's going to cost them so much if they keep this squabble up, because John and TTAR will get onto the back of them very quickly. And Nate and Viltec cannot afford that to happen. They need second in this championship, so they need to win.
Race is over for me, disqualified.
Arty has followed CumSum in the worst advice ever, which is speeding in the pit lane several times. And that is not a way to end what was turning out to be such a great rookie season. Garrett O'Brien thinking though, yeah, my recovery drive after hitting the wall is not looking bad right now. In 8th position, fighting Debug, who had that 40 seconds. Penalty from the pit lane. Debug now just thinking, man, just get me to the end of this race already. I know I'm not going to win this. I'm not going to get second place in this championship, but maybe I could salvage something. But just not working out for him right this moment. As Nate jumps into the pits, this is all go moment for Nate. He knows what happened in the first round of pit stop. He's got to be on the marks and super quick. Viltec out there for even longer, so Viltec did save a little bit of fuel. And at that pace, that's devastating. So with everyone in the pits right now, there's no point saying what the order is. What we do know is Viltec is leading. And he's going to have to make his way through some traffic. And that is his championship rival, Debug, in front of him. Demoralizing for Debug. But what can I say? What can I say? Viltec in the pits. What's this going to be like? We know he was quick last time. Thinking about it. Is he moving yet? Is his little number one moving? It is. It is moving down the pit lane. 14 seconds, 13 seconds, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. What's it going to be? They were side by side. Don't forget, he's still got to make his way around the apron. You can see in the track map, that's where all the excitement is. He is making his way around. Oh, it looks like Nate's going to easily catch him. What is going on? Nate is ahead. Lap 74. The gap is growing. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Soon he's going to be behind TTAR. And he is. What has happened to Viltec? The magic of the first pit stop has cost him in the seconds. And he is dropping down the order again. His teammates now in third. Viltec in fourth. 8 seconds behind the lead. Mr. Director, we need a replay. Thank you very much. Did he not fuel? Is this like TTAR from before? So everyone's moved up. Viltec, oh no, that steering wheel is not in the right direction. That car is crabbing. He is back into the pit and his championship of being second and runner-up. Oh, that's going to cost him. That's going to cost him big, and Nate Delta is suddenly grinning ear to ear going, yeah, this is how I won Indy. Everyone made mistakes in front of me and I kept it clean. This is how I did it. He's got to be smiling to himself again behind that helmet. When you get the replay, he's in the pit box. What happens? Getting ready, steering ever so slightly in anticipation of leaving the pits. Puts his foot down. Oh, gets too much wheel spin. Oh, Viltec. So eager to make up time. Maybe that's worked for him before, and it just cost him so dearly. And look at that steering angle he's having to use to drive straight. Oh, that is heartbreaking. That is absolutely heartbreaking. Still recovering in the pits right now, so let's see. Lap 77, it is Nate Delta ahead of TTAR, ahead of Garrett O'Brien. What a recovery drive from TTAR and Garrett O'Brien. Debug in fourth place with like 50 seconds worth of penalties. Mumbo Man, so he must be kicking himself. Mumbo Man in fifth. Remember, he won this race on a controller, so now now with an actual steering wheel, what can we see him do? He hasn't lit the town up though. That is TTAR with his frame rate tanking being passed by Garrett O'Brien, who's up into second now. What a recovery drive. What a recovery drive indeed. He must be smiling as well. It's him versus Nate Delta in the championship. It must be. Entering this round, where were they in the standings? Garrett O'Brien 52 points, Nate Delta 54, so there needs to be an even bigger gap between Nate ahead. He needs TTAR to be up there to block Garrett O'Brien if Nate wants to get second in this championship. But at the moment, it looks like it's going to be Garrett O'Brien's second position that is going to secure him second in the championship. But it looks like Nate, lap 80 right now, you've got to say it's pretty much almost been faultless for Nate. Almost. I think he does have a penalty though for speeding in the pits, but it might only be 10 seconds. I cannot remember. Can you make a comment down below if you can remember? As TTAR frame rate tanking, but the lap time's still right up there. And just behind Garrett O'Brien, 5 seconds behind the leader. And look, you can see them. That is Nate Delta ahead of Garrett O'Brien, and we're on board with TTAR in the PPI Motorsport car. He has won the championship at the end of the last round. If you did not watch that, go back. It was such a crazy way to win a championship. Trying to have his friend and teammate, long-standing teammate Orange, win the race. Hashtag spoilers. So let's go down the order now and see. There's still some pit lane action happening, but it is Nate Delta ahead of Garrett O'Brien, ahead of TTAR, ahead of Debug, ahead of Mumbo Man, ahead of John Leclerc. Orange is in the pits. Viltec down into 9th. NDF in 10th. ArdoWrick, who must have retired now after that lightning start and such incredible pace really early on. Wow. And Arty disqualified, and also CumSum disqualified as well. Garrett O'Brien is thinking, wow, how did this happen to me? I made a mistake and somehow here I am, kept my nose clean after that. And I'm in second position, and I'm probably getting second in the championship. Will the pressure be building behind him with TTAR, with tanking frame rate? Will he be thinking, man, what if he just blinks at the wrong moment and goes right into the back of me? It's got to be playing on Garrett's mind. Mr. Hollywood himself in his home race. One of many home races for Mr. Hollywood. As we got Nate Delta grinning ear to ear. Maybe he's thinking in his helmet, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. As the heavy cloud sets in, and the track is now 10 degrees or so cooler than it was when it started. Debug going very slowly there. 6th position as he had an incident. Oh, into the pit lane he goes. Being very careful not to speed. That's why he was going so slowly. He does not want to be disqualified. Anything could happen. Coming into the last third of this race, lap 86. We're on board with John right now, fighting Mumbo Man. Again, 2 drivers with a win to their name. Duking it out for 3rd place right now as Garrett O'Brien enters the pits, and John thinking, you know what, I think it's better off this. I'll go over under. And look at the speed he has, even with that Mercedes engine, his GP2 engine as he called it earlier in this race. Still making moves, showing that the driver can make a huge difference here with good line, good technique, not scrubbing speed. If you're down on power, you need to do all of those things, even less than everyone else. And you need to make the most of every millimeter on the track. Lap 87, we don't talk about that. Nate leading, ahead of TTR, ahead of Mumbo Man, ahead of John, which is the battle we're watching right now. As John is down the inside, cursing his engine, trying to make it up through the corners, and forcing, even though Mumbo Man looks like he's taking the wider line on purpose, but forcing Mumbo Man around the outside and then down the straight. They're holding it neck and neck. That Mercedes engine giving everything it's got. Has been reliable. And down the inside as they go into turn 1, 2. Down the back straight. And is that what's going to take from Mumbo Man?
Nice racing there.
Yeah. John, smart head, very much so appreciates the clean, smart racing from people around him. And really enjoying it as Nate Delta still in the lead, 5 seconds, and that is Viltec, who was fighting for the lead and so sad right now. He's in 8th place after that devastating crash in the pit lane, losing control of the car. Whether it was too much throttle, whether it was too much steering, whether it was a combination of both, whether it was a bug, we don't know, but we do know it has cost him dearly. He was really hoping for second in the championship to be runner-up.
I'm setting this lap paper damage. Jesus.
Oh, as Mr. Mouse has announced he's coming in for damage. We didn't see it, but announcing yourself is a really great way in league racing. Just to show up, be there, and say to the guys around you, hey, look, I respect you. I'm just coming in. Beware, maybe take a different line. As you can see, the pit entry is quite low down. And Viltec thinking, can I unlap myself? I'm already like 5 laps down. Does it matter? And Nate Delta, we'll see if Nate gives it up. If Nate's smart, he might use Viltec as a bit of a fuel buffer. Lap 92. He might just give him the position. Viltec is clamoring, but we're getting into the point now where they will not be allowed to unlap if there is another safety car. We're crawling into that part of the race. And Nate Delta, is he going to fight this? Or is he going to play it smart? You've got to see the pressure on Nate's shoulders. He is super experienced and had some of the drives of his life this season. And it looks like he's just given that position up, but he can't give it up too much. It's Garrett O'Brien. Why is Garrett O'Brien a couple of laps behind? Was that from his pit stop? Must have been. Garrett O'Brien was running in second there for a while. And there we go. It looks like Nate's coming into the pits. So I think that was just his pit stop. That's put him some laps behind. And TTR is going to inherit this lead, it looks like. Unless he follows him in. No, he's following him in. It's like it's all on Garrett O'Brien coming around. 55 seconds, 54, 53. That's what he'll be looking at. He'll be looking at the gap to the leader. It's TTR in the pits. Remember, he's fighting Nate Delta here. Though he may not want to get involved with the championship decider with who becomes second. By him just existing on this track, he will be deciding the fate of one of these drivers as John gets 40 seconds. That's the second penalty for going in the pit lane. He comes. Nate Delta TTR coming out of the pits. What's it going to be? Where is Garrett? 13 seconds. 11. 12. 10. Oh no, still 12 seconds, sorry. It is not updating quick enough. It does not look like he is anywhere close enough, but he's already up to speed, so he will catch up a few seconds as they just get their tyres up to speed and they take it easy on those first laps. But it is hovering around 10 seconds right now. So 2 seconds to TTAR, 8 seconds to Nate, 9 seconds. Great stuff here from the leaders. Nate Delta leading lap 95 ahead of TTAR, 6.9 seconds behind. Frame rate not doing well, we're hearing on the radio. It must be the night. As we can see, the sun has pretty much set and we are fully illuminated at this beautiful Fontana track. Nate Delta leading ahead of TTR, leading ahead of Garrett O'Brien, leading ahead of John and Debug, Mumbo Man, Leclerc, Viltec and Orange as we have some moves going on there. That is Garrett getting past TTAR, not putting up much of a fight. TTR a second down on that lap, so the frame rate really starting to hit him hard. Lap 97. And look at the lead Nate has now. He just wants to carry this home. He had the speed. He didn't have the pit stop advantage from the first pit stop of Viltec. With Viltec having that error in the pit lane, having that crash, it is gifted Nate. And what could have been? What could have been this race? There's so many of those what could have beens. Nate is leading by a handy 5 seconds. Garrett O'Brien, what could have happened to him if he didn't crash and go into the wall? TTR, what happened with him if his frame rate was better and he didn't get that penalty for pitting and he also actually put fuel in the car? His own mistakes, some of those, let's be honest. What could have happened to Debug if he didn't go wide? What could have happened to Viltec? Could this have been his race? Could this have been a second victory if he didn't crash in the pits? What would have happened to ArdoWrick if he didn't crash as well? He was flying. And then CumSum as well, leading the race and fighting in the early laps, only to disqualify himself by speeding in the pit lane. And here we are, Nate Delta making his way through the traffic. This has got to be nervy times, but it is Viltec ahead of him. And Viltec will play it smart. He won't challenge or upset the leaders as he goes into the pits there. Wasn't very long between stops there. I wonder what's happened there. Didn't feel like it's a very long time at all. Lap 100. Nate Delta leads Garrett O'Brien. Nate is winning, but he is not doing enough to secure second in the championship. Garrett has that right now. Ahead of TTAR. Ahead of Debug, who's got a bunch of penalties, don't forget. He's got 50 seconds. I think John also has 50 seconds. Mumbo, they're in 6th position. Did win this race the last time we were here, but right now, today, maybe wishing he was on a controller rather than on a wheel. Pace does not seem to be with him right now. Leclerc in 7th. Orange, a few laps behind in 8th position. Viltec in 9th. What could have been an NDF in 10th, 4 minutes behind the leaders. And then we've got ArdoWrick in the pits, retired after his big crashes. Arty, who's been disqualified and not on the leaderboard right now, is CumSum, also disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. Past the 1 hour mark, heavy cloud is in the air, it is dry, track temperature still dropping, and Nate's car looking like it's getting just as fast. Actually, it looks like Garrett is the fastest car on the track right now, 29.9. He is hunting down that win as we start lap 103. He's just cut off there. That is not our fault, that is AMS2's fault. He doesn't like the large student races. Had a hell of a lead, but it is dwindling. It is dwindling. It's 2 seconds now. It was 5 second advantage. Mr. Hollywood is on a mission, and his lap times are showing it. Wow. Oh, orange. 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Well, it could go from bad to worse. As Nate Delta flying, maybe just taking it easy, saving a little bit of fuel. 30s instead of the 29s that Garrett and TTAR were putting in. Garrett is hunting. Who's that behind him? That is Mumbo Man, a lap down behind him. Borrowing some of Garrett's speed there, saying, thank you very much, I will take this. It is lap 105, that looks like on my screen. 1.1 seconds behind. That is Nate in front of him. He's got to be thinking, I got you in my sights. Understeering a little bit, oversteering a little bit. You see the correction in the steering wheel there as it goes on to the start-finish straight, which isn't straight. It is curved and is down to under a second. We are in the dying laps of this race, and the hunt is on. Mr. Hollywood versus Nate Dogg. I think, is Garrett hunting his first win? I think he is. So it is all to play for. So we know what type of driver Garrett is now. He's like, yeah, second in the championship would be nice, but I want the win. He'd risk it all for the glory of standing on the top step. That is what we're learning right now as the gap is down to 2/10. This is as close as it's been. He goes down the inside. He's going to take it, I think. No. Oh, he's slowing down. Oh, he's in the pit lane. He's just saying, man, if I had more fuel. If I had more fuel. And that's why he was so much quicker. He doesn't want to speed now. He's got to play it sensibly. Go right, breaking my markers, make sure I'm in the pit box in the right spot. Exit the pit at the right time. John D up into second place. Where is this all going to pan out as the pit stops happen? John is thinking, you know what? Oh, I will take this, thank you very much. the inside of Viltec. Viltec not fighting it. Has he given up? I don't think so. He's still putting in 30.1s. That is a very respectable time around this place. John thinking, am I going to risk this? He's a couple of laps behind. Do I risk it? Is he going to play fair? It's Viltec. He'll probably play fair. He's the brains. He's got to think it through as Garrett Bryant exits from his last pit stop. It is lap 110, I believe. He is in 5th place. Will the leaders have to pit anymore, or are they going to try and eke it out to the end? We do not know. There's Nate ahead of John, ahead of Mumbo Man. Oh, look at that. Prior winner up into 3rd spot right now. TTAR in 4th, Garrett Bryant in 5th. So TTAR and Garrett, they must have both pitted there. TTAR's pit stop, a little bit less time in the pits, maybe under-fueled a little bit to save a little bit of time. And John D in 2nd position here. Just being towed along and coming out of the slipstream of Viltec. Is he saving fuel? He's got some quick times in the car. It makes me think he's running towards an emptier tank. Garrett O'Brien, 5th place here right now. We know he's in the hunt for the win. So we think Nate and John and Mumbo Man still have to stop again. But TTAR is 15 seconds ahead of him, it looks like. How is this race going to play out right now? Nate Delta leading the pack still. Lap 112, 30.2 for him. John D, 29.8. Garrett gets ahead. It looks like that was NDF there. And TTR, PPI Motorsports, Kart 2000 champion, season 11. Going around in 4th place here. As Mumbo Man enters the pits, that has put TTR up into 3rd spot. 30.1, that is about the time you need to be doing to lead the pack. John D, 30.5. Is that still behind Viltec? It is hard to say. Who is around him? That is still behind Viltec. Is Viltec slowing him down? Or is Viltec still giving it the beans? Oh, Mr. Mouse, no. First penalty of the night. 10 seconds. That is Mumbo Man. Oh, heartbreaking. But people around him could have more penalties than him, and this could work out for him. Nate Delta, lap 115, leading this race. Does he need to pit again? Maybe a splash and dash, but he's coming right to the end of this race. Is he just conserving fuel? As he goes around Leclerc, who's entering the pits from 5th place. John D, P2, thinking, this has worked out pretty well for me. I will take this right now, thank you very much. But we still don't know he needs to pit. That looks like John is slowing down and entering the pits. He cannot afford another speeding penalty, so on the limiter hard, braking early. So John D in the pits, it looks like TTR will take that 2nd position back. And Garrett O'Brien, 59 seconds behind the leader, so that is going to be close if he wants to secure. Right now, I don't think he's going to secure 2nd in the championship. He still needs to go for gold. And this is John now thinking, right, okay, let's just get me out of the pit safely. I've seen accidents can happen. Let's get this Mercedes-Benz GP2 engine to the ends of this race. So Nate Delta, lap 117, still leading the pack, 44 seconds ahead of TTAR. Is he eking out his fuel? It looks like it's so late for a last, if he's going to stop one more time. It is so late. It's Garrett O'Brien now behind his teammate, Viltec. Are they going to work together? Are they going to work together here? No, Viltec goes in behind his teammate, maybe into the slipstream here, down the start, finish straight. No, he stays out of the slipstream, now into the slipstream. Maybe doesn't want to get in front of Garrett O'Brien. And if he has an accident, collect his teammate as Nate enters the pits. This is it. He is 36 seconds ahead of TTAR, 49 ahead of Garrett O'Brien as I watched on the clock. Is that going to be enough? TTR catches up to the lead lap now. Garrett O'Brien coming around the corner. Nate is moving. Garrett crosses the line. Nate needs to give everything he's got. They all do. TTAR 15 seconds, 14 seconds, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. He's coming around the final corner. Nate gets 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. No! 7 seconds, 6. Right now, oh, TTR has 20 seconds, doesn't he? I was going to say TTR's leading this race right now, but he's not. Nate is still ahead. I don't think Garrett has any penalties. So if Garrett gets within 10 seconds, this could be it. This could really be it. But it is Nate 3 seconds ahead of TTR. Garrett O'Brien 11 seconds behind. He has got to put his foot flat through the cockpit, right to the other side. Yank the cable some more to give all the fuel that he needs and more into that engine. He needs to be as fast as he can be. He needs to channel his inner Ricardo. And there he is. Who's that? That's a back marker ahead of him. That looks like it's going to be Mumbo Man. Going to use some of him for the slipstream. Get some extra speed. Down the inside, his teammate following him, actually hounding him. So what is this? Is this Viltec versus Orange? It might well be. As TTR 1.8 seconds, he is catching up. With a tanked frame rate, the champion still hounding and saying to Nate, you're going to have to work for this one, buddy. 9 seconds now, so it looks like Garrett's just within the window. 9-10 seconds. Garrett needs just a little bit more speed, but there's no back markers in the way now for him to piggyback off. He's going to have to do this all on his own. Nate 30.4, TTAR 30.1, Garrett 29.8. He is on a mission. Around the outside goes TTAR. The back marker, I didn't see who that was. Car number 8, that must be his teammate Orange. It looks like it. Does Orange need the slipstream? Orange with a 31.7, 32.0. Maybe Orange is conserving fuel. Garrett O'Brien running side by side with his teammate. It is 10.8 seconds, 29.9 versus a 30.4. He is going to need every ounce of speed and more as we go to the final few laps. This is lap 23. It is all to play for still. Who is going to win this race? Who is going to take second? Who is going to take third? Who is going to take second in the championship? Right now, I think it's Garrett O'Brien. I think he's within the 20 seconds of TTAR and almost within the 10 seconds of Nate Delta. It is ferociously close, and Viltec right in the slipstream. He needs about 5 seconds to Orange. I'm not with the Orange's pit penalties. Does Viltec have any pit penalties? I am not sure. I didn't remember him having any. And Viltec is released from his teammate. Garrett O'Brien is 9 seconds behind. He's now into the slipstream of his teammate. Is this going to help him just get slightly ahead? The cloud is over. The track temperatures are down. But these are the dying laps to see who will be second in this championship, who will be runner-up, who will cross the line first. Will Garrett take his first win, or will Nate take his second, or will it be TTAR somehow? 5 seconds now, 32 seconds. What's TTR's problem? His teammate behind him, maybe it's fuel. Did he put in enough of it? Him and his teammate seeming to run very slow times right now. There's Nate Delta, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. This is the final lap, I believe. Garrett O'Brien is hounding him down, 12 seconds. He's got to be within that window as Nate crosses the line. He's the race winner. Will Garrett do it? Oh, I don't think he can change it. Wow. what an end to that race. Garrett was giving it absolutely everything. TTR fought till the end. Garrett fought to the end. I think that's Nate's. I think that's his second win in the mutiny. And what a way to do it. What a way. Keep his nose clean. Keep your foot flat till the end. And confirmation, Nate Delta winning the race, even with a 10-second penalty, ahead of Garrett O'Brien by just 0.6 of a second. Those 20 points are going to be crucial, but I don't know. I think it's Garrett O'Brien who still has it. TTR in third place there with his 20-second penalty. John, Debug, and Mr. Mouse, they are the 4th, 5th, and 6th position drivers. Leclerc in 7th, Viltec in 8th, just ahead of Orange. He just squeaked there in the end. And the fastest lap for Viltec. Orange in 9th position, MDF in 10th position, Ricardo, DNF, Arty disqualified, CumSum disqualified. And TTAR, their championship driver this season, 119 points there. The Portuguese anthem playing for him with 3 wins. Second behind him, it was Garrett O'Brien in the end with 68 points. Got second position in the championship, ahead of Nate Delta, who had 2 wins this season, incredibly, with 64 points. Wow, just a couple of absolute bogus races there cost Nate this season. Debug in 4th, got to be happy with that after the races he had the last couple of times out. Viltec in 5th, disappointed there, wanted to be runner-up so badly. Leclerc with another smart season there in 6th. Orange in 7th. John D in 8th this season. Arty in 9th. What a great rookie season. Arsmoon for Team Rahal, not delivering on the promise that we usually expect. Rodders for Pac West 11th. MDF 12th. Fortune 13th. Shattered 14th. Not what you expect to see those guys. CumSum speed did not translate to championship positions. Peter, who won a race and then never turned up again. Mr. Mouse, Old Boy, Bumble, and Ricardo. They are your top 20 in the championship. What a championship this has been for the drivers. Let's see how it is going out for the constructors, though, for the team standings. And it is PPI. That is the team with TTAR and Orange just squeaking out ahead of Team Rahal. Those wins from TTR really helping there. Team Rahal in second. That is the team with Mr. Hollywood himself, Garrett O'Brien, Viltec, and Arsmoon. Pac West in 3rd position there. 4th, Scythe in 4th. Newman Haas Racing in 5th. Penske in 6th position. Autosport Racing there in 7th. Patrick Racing, which was Shattered Compass team, in 8th position there with 32 points. Team Green in 9th. And then you've got to see Ganassi and Della Pena are the only ones turning up to any events. And then you've got all the other teams, some without drivers, some with drivers who just not even make a race. That has been the season. That has been season 11 Mutiny Motorsport. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. If you haven't already, please give us a like, a subscribe, and all those fancy things to help sure that you see these races again and again. Season 12 is just around the corner, and we have something special lined up for you. There is the Formula Intercars. Small, hard to handle. Thank you so much, everyone. We will see you next time out.
Oh my god! I barely pulled it out. Holy shit! Bro. I was holding my breath those last few laps. Holy shit. Wow. Congrats, man.
Yeah, Nate, nice drive, dude.
Well done, mate.
Look at those penalties.
My whole objective was like, don't crash and don't get any penalties, and I only had one crash, so that's a win.
I think this is my best oval race.
That's crazy. Nate, I feel like you deserve it more than I do because you've got so many first place wins this season.
Well done, Nate. Well done, Garrett.
I think I'm like 5-2 against the wall, so I'm gonna take it as a.
As always, really appreciate all you Mutiny staff for putting on a great season. Thank you very much. It's been awesome.
That was a hell of a season. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for showing up and making this such a fun season.
Good season, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you very much to all of you, man.